You are now live with me, G3, and I literally just got home. Oh my god, there was so much traffic from work, and yes, I made it. 8 p.m. on the dot. This Monday, I have two very beautiful ladies joining me, women of Congress, our lawmakers. They do it with such style and elan, and I really wanted to have them tonight for this episode of Empowered Women in Congress. But before that, I just want to say thank you to my dentist, Dr. Abby Robles, and of course, Dr. Steve Marknan and GAOC. I had a procedure this Friday. Actually, I was supposed to have it on a Thursday. Ang tagal na niya talaga dapat na gawin. March pa really, but COVID happened, and we didn't know what to do with medical or dental procedures then. So we finally locked in a date last Thursday, kaso Ulysses naman happened. So all the clinics were closed, and it wasn't safe to go out of the house. But finally they worked out a schedule, and I just want to say thank you for the diligence of and the dedication of the dentists of JOC. They found me a schedule because I didn't want to suffer from the toothache for so long. So yeah, so if you see me smiling, and I'm always smiling, and in my interviews I'm laughing, giggling. If there's a space there, that's what happened. And it's gonna take a while before they put in a bridge. Yeah, that's what they call it. A fixed bridge, that's what they call it. So yes, so there. I also want to thank Dr. Vicky Bello for my procedure this week. And yes, everything that I'm doing is because my brother is getting married on the weekend. His wedding to his fiance, my friend Kai, also got postponed. It was originally slated in April, but nangyari rin yung COVID, so na-postpone siya. It's going to be a very intimate wedding na lang in Tagaytay on the weekend. And then, I go home on a Sunday. I come back on a Monday to tape our new show naman in Tagaytay also. So, I'm not sure if we're going to have an episode on Monday. So, before that, because of my dental extraction and my other procedures, I'm on antibiotics, so I'm not able to drink tonight. I am drinking Badwa, thank you Badwa, natural sparkling water, and of course Evian, my natural mineral water. I also want to thank, of course, the girls who dress me up every week, the girls from Una Richie, Margot, and my friend Nina. This is such a beautiful navy top, very blousy, very cute. You can find Una Richie in Frankie and Johnny, and you can find them at Trist in Rockwell. So thank you so much, Una Richie, for my top tonight and for dressing me every Monday for Live with G3. Okay, so my first, conversation tonight is with somebody who I really admire. She's a personal hero to me. She is a woman, a trans woman that holds the highest seat in Philippine government. And that is quite an achievement. And this being Trans Awareness Week, National Day of Commemoration of Trans Lives, is on Friday, November 30. So who other than our next guest to be talking to about this, right? So I already saw her, and let's see if she is going to come in. Ayan na siya. Friends and lovers, First District of Bataan Representative Congresswoman Geraldine Roman. Hi!
Hello, G3. Kumusta kayo?
Hi, Kong. Can you hear me?
Yes, medyo mahina na ako. So maybe we can adjust volume.
Yeah. Can you see me fine? Can you hear me fine?
Yes, I can hear you fine. Okay.
Parang kung ikaw yata yung mahina, let's ask the viewers. Maybe your volume.
Okay. How could I possibly? Can we connect the microphone?
Do you want to come in again? I'll let you go, and then you can come in again.
Okay, okay. We'll come in again. Thank you,
I'll bring you in again. So yes, so let's see if, kasi medyo mahina yung audio, no? So as I was saying, Trans Awareness Week is very important to me because I am, of course, a trans woman. And, you know, an article I read just the other night said that there have been 350 murders of trans people worldwide in the past year. And number one was, I think, in Brazil. Number two was in Mexico. And number three was in the United States. So doon pinakamaraming cases of trans murders. And of course, we want to bring awareness to the humanity of it all. So yeah, let's see. Mahina daw yung kay Kong, yes. Is my volume okay? Pag nakita nyo medyo, you know, I'm missing a tooth, a wisdom tooth, it's because, you know, I had a procedure and they're gonna make a fixed bridge. Mayan, hello! Si Konsehala, she's here. Ayan na, let's see. She's requesting again. So let's check if her audio is fine. Once again, Congresswoman Geraldine Roman. Hello!
Hello, G3.
Ayan,
Can you
it's
hear me
better.
clearly already?
Yes,
Okay, much better.
Very
Yan,
busy
I'm
tonight.
Medyo pagod na kasi we had our first day of session today
I
in
heard.
Congress.
I heard I'm going to have naman Congresswoman Lucy Torres Gomez after
Yeah.
you. So I know that it's your first session again. So can you keep us up to date about, you know, what was discussed earlier? Of course, the things that you can share.
Well, back to business. We're tackling several bills binabato sa floor. That means they signed the different bills that have been filed in recent months to the corresponding committee. So that's basically it. We're going to be resuming also our committee work. Although I know for a fact that many committees have worked during our break, including my own committee, which is the Committee on Veterans Affairs. Also, the Committee on Women and Gender Equality. We were quite busy also during the break. So it's basically more of the same stuff. Wala namang break eh, kaloka.
Wala naman talagang break pag nasa public servant ka, di ba?
That's true. I'm here now in my district. No, this is the advantage of modern technology. We can actually work from home, but at the same time, it poses a disadvantage kasi you cannot separate what is your personal time from your work time. So there's no disconnect at all, no?
That's true. That's true. What would you say is the distribution of your time, like given a day, like for example, a Monday like this, how much is left for your personal time and how much is your professional time?
Kung wala tayong pandemya, Monday I would be in Manila, Monday to Wednesday when we have session in Congress, no? And then I would go home to the province here in Bataan on Wednesday evening. I would stay until Sunday evening. So, what is my personal time? That would be Saturday and Sunday. But because there is a pandemic and the problems never stop, talagang we continue to work and attend to my constituents here in the 1st District of Bataan.
What is the number of cases in the 1st District, ma'am?
Well, actually, it's going down. I don't know the exact number as of today, but we had a spike, let's say a couple of weeks after the lifting of the modified enhanced community quarantine. But thank God, bumaba naman siya. Inactive na yung mga cases namin. But here in Bataan, we have a total of around 2,000 cases since the start of the pandemic. Reported cases, of course.
That's manageable. That's very manageable, diba? It was expected to spike nung binuksan talaga yung borders. What do you think the situation will be, syempre, at Christmas time, in the coming holidays, when people are gonna come back to work and, you know, come back home and, you know, they're gonna want to be celebrating with each other? What do you think is going to be the situation at Christmas time?
It's going to be different this year, definitely. And I do not expect the same amount of enthusiasm for friends to meet up and companies to organize Christmas parties. We can expect that people will want to stay with their own immediate families, stay at home, and wala na masyado yung paggagala, pag-shopping, And syempre, it's so many reasons not to do so. First and foremost, of course, yung health consideration. Pangalawa, of course, maraming nawalan ng trabaho, so people are not as liquid, as we say.
Yeah.
And they have to prioritize their basic needs. So ako, I think the main message of the pandemic is basically to go back to the basics, to the essence of things. No, what is the real essence of Christmas and of our fiestas that we celebrate, what we have not been able to celebrate, or even Holy Week, or so many things that we have taken for granted. So go back to the basics lang tayo.
That's true. That's true. Last year, of course, it was very festive, and we didn't know, we were so excited for the new decade.
Yeah.
Diba, we were so
Totoo yan.
positive, we were so hopeful and everything.
Yes.
Now
Yes,
comes,
yes.
the hardest year we've experienced by far.
Para tayong nauntog bigla. Oo, sa the reality of life, things can change in an instant, no? And this is the reason why we have to value the things that we normally take for granted. And it is also an eye-opener talaga na there are more important things to life than just, what we might consider as superficial. And life itself is a gift, it's a blessing. The mere fact that we are speaking to one another at this moment is already a blessing. I mean, there are so many people who have died because of this pandemic. It could have been us, So it's really a blessing to be alive and to be able to help other people in these very difficult times in our country.
Tapos nadadagdagan pa siya ng mga calamities, diba? We just
Diyos ko.
Diba, parang hindi na siya natatapos. How did this pandemic and all of these climate, calamities change you as a politician?
Well, it's an eye-opener, if we were to discuss the massive floodings that occurred in Cagayan and Isabela, and also in Bicolandia, many of them can be attributed to massive deforestation, as well as illegal quarrying.
Yeah.
So, pag ikaw, you abuse nature, ang balik niyan, matindi. And we are at the mercy of nature. So the message is basically we should take care of nature, which is not to say, of course, that now is a typhoon season, although they say that typhoons are different now. They come in late, but they come in very, very strong.
Yeah.
So yun ang message. Now, I know it's a big test. Shout out sa ating mga kapatid sa Bicolandia, sa Camarines, and Albay, and so many provinces in Bicolandia, as well as our northern provinces, Cagayan region. Of course, meron din flooding nangyari sa bandang Bulacan, even here in Central Luzon, no? Shout out sa kanila, nakapit lang mga kapatid. Alam ko napakalaking pagsubok. Kami naman po from the House of Representatives, under the leadership of Speaker Lord Allan Velasco, naglilikom kami ng mga donations, ng mga relief, and there will be distribution these coming weeks, no? So, mahirap na pagsubok talaga.
That's true. And more importantly, I think as a long-term solution, di ba, parang bills that protect nature, and like you said, deforestation and illegal quarrying, I mean, like, we should get to work on that. What is the new speaker like?
Well, he's a young person, cuticle, and happily married. Okay.
Yes.
Oo, pogi naman si Speaker Lord Allan Velasco. And he's very down to earth naman siya. And very active naman actually. Since he assumed office, dyan naman siya nagpakita ng gilas, So I can't complain really.
Maraming cute naman sa Congress, di ba?
Oo, sa true. Pero quiet lang ta. Okay. Marami. Oo, they know who they are, actually.
They know who they are, and some of them think they know that it is them, but it's not them, di ba?
I think alam nila, may gut feeling sila kung sino talagang authentically true, no?
Cuticle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mga cuticle. Ayan.
How long have you been yes, ma'am?
No, no, no. You were saying?
How long have you been serving us in Congress?
Well, I assumed office, first assumed office in 2016.
Yes.
That was, well, I won, and technically I became the first trans woman to hold openly trans woman,
Yes.
transgender person to hold a seat in the Philippine Congress. So that's 4 years ago. Parang ang bilis ng panahon. So many things have happened in between.
That's true, that's true. And 4 years ago also, you were inducted in Time Magazine's 13, diba? Women.
Yes.
How did that feel like?
13 most inspiring women.
Most
Nagulat
inspiring
ako,
women.
syempre. Syempre, it's an honor to be counted amongst Hillary Clinton, whom I
Diba?
idolize, as well as Beyonce, di ba? All of us has his or her own inner Beyonce.
That's true, that's true.
So, ayun.
So, mas
Mm-mm.
Beyonce ka kaysa Rihanna?
Ay, oo, mas Beyonce ako, palagay ko, kaysa kay Rihanna. Oo.
Oo.
Pero more of Hillary Clinton, I would say. She's my idol kasi.
With the election of Kamala Harris as the first
Yes.
woman, first mixed race woman as vice president of the United States of America, effectively like the biggest government in the whole world, I sort of felt very sorry for Hillary Clinton that it wasn't in her destiny.
Sayang.
Diba? Parang as a fan
Mm-mm.
also of Hillary Clinton, how did you feel when, it wasn't in the stars for her, but it was in the
Yeah.
stars for Kamala Harris?
Yes. Let's say it's just the circumstances. You know, in the United States, it's always cyclical. You normally
That's true.
have 8 years of Democratic presidency, and then you have 8 years of Republican presidency. No, so that could be attested. Well, that could be attributed to the circumstances, no? At saka, nung panahon na yon, hindi pa nauuntog ang mga Amerikano.
Oo.
Oo.
Ngayon, dalang-dala na sila, di ba? Dalang-dala.
Nauntog, oo. Nauntog. I'm not supposed to comment normally about yung leadership of foreign governments, but this is just a personal opinion.
That's true.
Well, all I can say is that, well, this is my ideal type of leader. Dapat somebody who's able to inspire, somebody who's able to awaken the good traits in every human being, the more noble traits. Ayoko ng misogynist.
Yes.
Ayoko ng person who is bigoted na inaapi ang LGBT community. Gusto ko progressive. Yan ang gusto kong leadership, no, for the United States. Kasi, all of us we are a developing country, and I would say that all developing countries look up to developed countries, and the United States is number one in the list of developed countries. It is the most powerful country in the world. So when the leadership in that country is not very progressive, I mean, what can you expect, diba? When you have a progressive leadership in a country like the United States, it gives us a glimmer of hope. Now, if it's possible in that country, it should also be possible in our country. We just have to follow their good example. So yun, nauntog na mga Amerikano.
It ripples. Kasi diba, all governments ripple towards, if there's one thing the pandemic taught us, we're all connected. Diba? And we should all be united. So magre-ripple through yan sa atin. Tsaka, nasa Instagram mo naman, pinost mo naman si Kamala tsaka si Joe Biden. So it's not...
Oh, yes. Oo. At tsaka, alam mo, nakakatuwa, G3, is that hindi lamang yung president and vice president. Meron ding first trans senator. Oh. Yes, and that's a reason to celebrate talaga. Oo. Nagtataka ako, darating kaya ang panahon na ang mga Republicans will field a transgender candidate?
Maybe, di ba? We never know what's gonna happen. And just to, bounce off from that, do you think that you would, after, of course, your term as Congresswoman, do you think that you would attempt higher office?
Why not? If there is a chance to serve a greater number of people, why not? And sabi ko nga sa buhay na ito, we should never close our minds and our hearts to the infinite number of possibilities that come our way. Diba? If we are given a chance, why not? But one thing is for sure, kung ano man yung oportunidad dumarating sa atin, dapat malinis ang ating hangarin. Oo. So
Shout out
I
to
have to
Mayan,
study.
Mayan Huwico. She brought us
Ay,
together.
ay,
Hi, Mayan.
Konsehala Mayen. You know, I love Mayen so much because she is an equality champ
She is
sa
an
Quezon
ally. She is
City. Yes,
honorary.
she's an ally. She's an honorary LGBT. Oh, diba?
Yes. Tell us about what it's like growing up in Bataan.
Well, actually, I grew up half here in Bataan and half in Manila because I studied in Metro Manila. So wala, I just had a normal childhood. Siyempre, although, alam mo naman, as expected, because I'm trans, I was quite effeminate.
Yeah.
Too effeminate for their taste, ano? And there were some kids who would tease me, but also there were kids who would defend me. And of course, I had my girl cousins. They were my best friends, and you know, it was kind of normal. And mahal ako ng mga magulang ko, mahal ako ng mga lolo't lola ko, and that spelled a difference in my life.
That's true.
So yun ang aking childhood. Kind of happy, except alam mo naman ang childhood ng mga trans, di ba? There's this constant questioning. I'm a spiritual person, and I was, you know, even at a young age, I was very prayerful, and I would ask God, Lord, bakit mo ko ginawang ganito?
Oh my God, yeah. I can totally
Does it
relate.
happen to you? Did
Yes,
it happen?
of course.
Oo, di ba?
I'm a born again Christian, and you know, it was a struggle, you know, coming to terms with my transsexuality and coming to terms with my being a Christian also. So
Yeah.
ako din, dumating din ako sa point na tinatanong ko na parang, if I am this way, did you make a mistake? Or, you know, did I make a mistake? And then, you know, when you flip through, as I flip through the pages of the Bible through the years, diba, it speaks to me in different ways. Diba? Like when you read a book, you know, when you're 14, and then you read it again when you're in your 20s, it's different. Diba? Parang, ang nakuha kong sagot dyan talaga is God sees. Kasi sabi ko, pag nagdadasal ako, sabi ko, Lord, does the way I look dishonor you? Parang ganun yung tanong ko. Kasi what should it matter, di ba? Parang if I look like this, or if I look like a guy, if I act this way, if I act like that. Ang sinagot niya sa akin, naalala ko talaga in the Bible, it said, everything is a matter of the heart. If your heart belongs to me, then it should, you know, it shouldn't really matter, di ba? I think I also echo like the way that you grew up, di ba? Parang I think in some way, we were very sheltered kasi mahal tayo ng magulang natin, meron tayong mga pinsan. But, you know, that journey is not very common. I mean,
No, not at all.
There are a lot of trans people, trans women, trans men who experienced worse, you know, a worse journey than ours. If it's somebody who is a trans woman or a trans man or a trans kid watching this broadcast, what can be like something that you would say to them, like an encouragement that you would give them?
Well, number one is to first love and accept yourself. Diba? And, you know, there's a generational factor in that. And I would say that the younger generations of trans people are actually very fortunate kasi there is a lot of information that you can avail of on the internet, and that helps. Information is key. Kasi lumaki ako, I did not even know what the term transsexual or transgender was.
Nung bata ako.
Oo, basta ang term lang na ginagamit sa Pilipinas nung araw, bakla. Bakla. And that was an umbrella term that was used to apply to all who are non-conforming, sa generally accepted standards and norms ng sexuality. And I would tell the child, love yourself, and then be authentic, and then, well, read up a lot, so that when the time comes that you have to come out to your parents, you will be empowered by information and the knowledge of those who have gone ahead of you. And knowledge will empower you, and hopefully, and of course, ang masasabi ko rin is connect with your higher good, no? With the divine, no? Kasi alam mo, the sad thing, G3 is this, there are some denominations, and mostly these are the evangelicals, no? And they have a very literal interpretation of the Bible. Ako, I grew up Catholic. I was trained by the Jesuits, and we are trained to actually try to discern. Let God speak to you through your
Yeah.
heart after prayer, after reading the Bible, what have you. And pareho tayo ng message eh. Actually, do you think God is concerned if I wear lipstick or eyeliner or if I wear a dress or
True.
not? No, He's not. He's
No.
concerned about what is in our heart. And do you think at the end of our earthly life, He's going to ask us, o ano, nagpakalalaki ka ba o nagpakababae ka ba or what have you? Are you gender conforming? Are you binary or what? No. He will ask us, how much have you loved in
That's
your life?
true. That's beautiful.
Loved your fellow men, loved the people around you, and also yourself. So
Yeah.
yun yon.
That's true. And I mean, like, when we talk about love, di ba, parang, I feel, and this is what just I believe in, like, personally and based on my experience, di ba, in terms of love, in terms of romantic love, I feel, and I tell all of my gay friends this, I feel like at the top of the dating food chain is really the gay guy, the good-looking gay guy, di ba? Because you can get anyone that you want, di ba? Parang you both know what you want. And then second, siguro, the straight people and the cisgenders, you know. And then at the bottom of the dating food chain is really the transgender woman.
Oo.
Ang trans man, madaling manligaw eh, di ba? But the
Oo.
transgender woman, the trans woman is probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, we're probably at the bottom of the food chain, especially if you live in Manila, di ba? What
In
can
the
you say about
Philippines.
in the Philippines?
Definitely, I've never had a Filipino boyfriend. I've had
No.
Spanish boyfriends. No, never. Kasi when I was 22, I already, I studied in Spain. I took my master's. And then from age 22 until the age of 44, I was in Spain. So that is where I met my better half.
Alberto.
And Alberto, yes. And I could say that Spanish men in general, which is not to say all of them, no? I would say they are more secure in their manhood. I remember when I came out to Alberto, we had been dating for a couple of months already, and the relationship was getting serious. So my mom told me, no, you have to tell him already your life story. So I told him my life story, and his reaction was this. You know what? I really don't care about your past. What is important to me is our present and our future together because I love you. And for
Girl,
me,
that's
you're a
very
woman. Oh, that's it. Oh, di ba?
Girl,
Haba
that's
ng
very
hair ko.
Oo,
Well, maswerte
grabe.
ako.
That
Pero
reminds me of the... Yes, go ahead.
marami akong kilala mga trans women na nag-migrate na sa Europe or the United States and they found stable partners and they're just your ordinary couples with the same challenges, the same joys and pains as any other couple.
Yeah, we have better... Like, when trans women ask me na parang, paano ba magka-jowa? Paano ba magka-boyfriend? Sabi ko, ay, girl, location. Change your location, di ba? But kasi, I've experienced it. You know, I've had Filipino boyfriends din naman. And you know, there are times also, kasi marami din nagtatanong sa akin ng mga trans women na parang, when do you need to disclose about yourselves? Parang I feel like, it's not the first thing that you will volunteer, diba? The information.
No.
Parang it's not something that's written like the scarlet letter on your forehead na I'm trans, diba? Ako kasi, I allow the guy to get to know me first, and then when I feel like it's gonna go somewhere, steps a bit going somewhere, then that's when I give full disclosure. Otherwise, if you just meet him in a bar and you know, you just get to talking, hindi naman kailangan ng alam mo yun,
full disclosure at that moment.
But of course, if you have sex with a guy, parang hello, sabihin mo na, girl, di ba? Parang ganun. Kasi when I was younger, I was really very scared to, you know, because when I wasn't even aware that I transitioned. I really just, you know, grew my hair long and, you know, took some hormones and everything. But, you know, I felt like I lived life as a woman, as a cisgender woman, because like they say na parang, di ba, some trans people will say, you passed, di ba? You passed.
Yeah.
So, hindi ka easily, you know, identifiable, ganyan. So I realized that for a while, like my whole college life and, you know, the first few years I was working.
How old are you na ba?
I can't disclose. Basta
why not?
I'm a Gen Xer.
Gen Xer ko. Ako, I'm proudly 53.
Wow.
So, during my time, actually, marami akong maliligaw sa Spain. When I was in my 20s, I was so young and fresh and
you look like
marami
you're in
akong
your 40s. Wait, you look like you're in your 40s.
Thank you. I was actually fishing for that comment. The char.
So, ligawin
Ano?
ka.
So, ligawin ako. Tapos, laging may dilemma. Hindi pa ako nagpo-fully transition nun eh. And then, pag napansin ko na medyo in love na sa akin, I would disclose. There were some who would tell me na they didn't mind. There were some who said na, hey, I'm sorry, I respect who you are, but I really want to have children, etc., etc., no? Meron pa nga iba dyan, pinakilala pa ako sa mga parents nila. Sabi ko, wow, this is getting serious. But I'm lucky with Alberto already. Kaya alam mo, nakakagulat.
Oh.
Meron ako kukwento sa'yo. Yung, you know, my in-laws, they only found out in 2016 when I came out in the news in Spain.
Oh my God, hindi sinabi ni Alberto?
No, kasi naman kami, I mean, sabi ko, I'm not having a relationship with my parents-in-law naman, di ba? So I didn't feel I had the obligation to explain and justify myself. In fact, pa nga, you know, every year they would tell us when we would visit them in northern Spain, they would tell us, oh, di pa kayo mag-anak? Di pa kayo mag-anak? So we just look at each other. Ay, sabi ko ganyan, mahirap, wala masyado akong busy, yung aking career, etc., etc., no? So anyway, when they found out, nagtampo sa akin ang aking mother-in-law. But not because of who I am or who I was, no? But because I did not feel confident enough to tell her about my life story. She was medyo nakinanakit, but we're fine now. Parang, okay, we discussed it once and that's it. That's it.
Are you legally married? Like, of course, in Europe?
No, we're not. We could have been legally married. Kaya nga lang, parang, in fact, there are many ways of legally, you know, legally registering your relationship. There is a civil partnership law there. Parang ano lang, you just register, you are a de facto couple. As long as you prove that you have been in a stable relationship for a minimum number of years. It's not marriage, but it's the same.
Years?
You know, I think 2 years, 3 years in the state.
Parang Australia, 2 years.
Oo, de facto. Ngayon, meron ding civil marriage. Meron din silang same-sex marriage. So, ganun sa Europe. So, kami naman, you know, I can actually get married here in the Philippines.
How?
Because my papers say I'm legally female.
How did that happen? I want to ask you, how did that happen?
Well, back in 1994, right after my sex reassignment surgery, my father and my brother, who are both lawyers, petitioned the regional trial court here in Bataan for a correction in the entries of my birth certificate. And allegation was that because the assignment is based on your anatomy, and my anatomy now does not correspond already with that, pumayag yung regional trial court. That was never questioned, and the decision became final and executory. That was 26 years ago. So I could actually get married.
That's amazing.
Civilly.
Why don't you get married? What's stopping you?
Ewan ko ba? I don't see the need actually. Sige, gawin ko kaya. Sige, mag-headlines ako. Headlines ako.
Pero kasi diba nag-iiba na kasi ang definition, diba? Especially with SOGIE, diba? Being a woman, a full woman doesn't mean, diba, you have to be changed anatomically, diba? It's your identity, diba? So parang I guess mas mahihirapan kaming hindi nagkaroon ng gender reassignment or gender corrective surgery because, diba, parang if the basis is anatomy, then it's not going to correspond, diba? But kasi diba nag-evolve din ang mga definitions, diba? Kailan lang naman yung SOGIE?
Yes,
SOGIE.
No, the difficult thing when it comes to, you know, changing your legal gender markers, yung sex mo dun sa birth certificate nowadays is because way back in 2004, there was a similar case of a Cebuana doctor who applied, no? But her decision was questioned. It reached the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court, it was the late Supreme Court Justice Corona who ruled that because there is no...
He's my batchmate's dad.
Father, yeah. Yeah, oo. That was a, you know, that set up precedent nga, yung ruling na yan ng Supreme Court na hanggang while there is no gender recognition law, we cannot allow similar changes. So medyo nag-close yung doors. So before 2004, marami rin naman nakapag-avail. But my proof is this. This is also a message to my colleagues in Congress. Hey, I've been legally a female for the past 26 years. I mean, the sun still shines over the Philippines. There's no Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, this has not spelled the fall of society or the moral decline of Philippine society. Hey, I'm just a happy person. I don't get, and I feel bad for our trans sisters and brothers, no, who are ridiculed whenever they have to go through immigration at the airport.
Or pag nahuli ako ng police.
Pag nahuli ng police or what have you. It becomes an embarrassing situation. Alam mo naman, sometimes Filipinos are not very tactful. Kulang pa sila ng gender sensitivity. I remember way back, siguro 1993, 1992, through the airports, naku, ang gagawin ng immigration official. Sabi, tignan niyo siya babae, pero bakit ganyan ang pangalan niya? Galing, mukha siyang babae. Ganun. So everybody would talk. I would become a spectacle. That is humiliating. Yeah, so now I don't have to undergo that anymore. And I wish the same for my...
That would happen to me a lot. Not naman a lot. Like, they would just, especially like, I mean, it happened siguro sa akin once or twice na
sa Philippines.
In Hong Kong, nakapila ka pa lang sa immigration.
I don't.
Iisipin ko na parang, oh my God, are they gonna question me? You know, I do not wear makeup. I pull my hair back. And, you know, parang sometimes it just look at you. Tapos minsan, di ba, natatagalan ka sa immigration, nag-aantay na yung mga kasama mo, tapos ikaw yung matagal doon. Minsan, nagagandahan lang din naman pala. Pero kasi, with a gender marker, ako naman, I really don't care if it's not next to me. Like, I remember there was this one time that I was, you know, I think nagkamali ako ng turn, dumaan ako sa one-way, baligtad, sa El Pueblo, and then hinuli ako ng police. Tapos yung police, kinuha niya yung license ko, sinabi niya, bakla ka pala eh. So ako parang, wala naman akong ginagawa sa'yo. Di ba parang, why did you need to be that mean? So parang ganun lang. So
now we have a law actually for that, yung anti-bastos law, RA 11313. So dapat yan, wala yung mga ganyang terms na mangi-insulto ka, what have you, or they could actually get prosecuted because of that. So yun ang mga situations that trans people have to undergo. And really, kala ng iba, cute sila, nakakatawa. Naalala ko rin yung nag-viral na video, yung si Aling Susan. Oo, yung si Alexis, di ba? Dumadaan lang gustong batuhin, tinatawag, bakla. Tapos pinagmamalaki pa niya na siya ay born-again Christian. Palagay ko, hindi naman siya, baka may mental health issues. Kasi, you know, I cannot understand so much cruelty, you know, especially a woman, you know. Normally, women are more sympathetic and they are more motherly. So ano ba to? May sapi ba tong si Aling Susan?
Oo. Ako naman in my experience, like halimbawa, when I was in the States, parang the ones that were mean to me were the women. It's the
Is that
women.
so?
Yeah, and then I remember one time I was in Boracay, and then I was in line, I was in queue for the bathroom. Siyempre, male, female. Sa female ako siyempre kasi mas scandalous naman kasi sa male ako.
Oo naman, Diyos ko.
So I remember I was in line, and then the girls behind me, like, ba't dyan siya nakapila? But hindi ko talaga pinapansin. I didn't think it was me. So parang feeling ko siguro, naisip ko talaga, shit, babae talaga ako. I mean, like somewhere in my psyche, naisip ko na, tanggap ko na babae ako. And then when I went inside the cubicle, doon na sila nagsasalita, yung mga babae. Tapos ako parang,
ano sinasabi?
Bakla yan, ganyan. So ako, parang, I just couldn't wait to get out of there. And I didn't even tell my friends. I was so embarrassed. Pero syempre, now that I'm older, now that I'm wiser, diba, syempre, alam ko na to fight for my rights, diba? What all of these things that have happened to me in the past and that are happening still to our trans sisters and trans brothers, more to our trans sisters, diba? Mas tayo yung nakakakuha ng discrimination, diba? Parang ang nilalaban na nga lang natin, we don't even fight for, you know, to change our gender markers or to change. It's really just anti-discrimination. Where are we in terms of the SOGIE Bill?
Well, it's being tackled currently in the Committee on Women and Gender Equality. And very supportive naman ang members ng committee. We have 16 principal authors, including myself. The chairperson, Malu Acosta, was very supportive. maganda naman ang patungo. You know why? Kasi nabubuksan ng mata ng mga colleagues ko that, it's not our job as congressmen and congresswomen to determine what is a sin or not.
Yes.
It's not our job to moralize, proselytize, or try to convert people, or try to legislate for the afterlife.
Yeah.
Our job is basically to defend the rights of all Filipinos in this life.
Yeah.
And of course, to protect their constitutionally, their constitutional rights, ano? So we cannot base our laws on a certain holy book.
That's true.
Cannot base it on the Bible. What about our Muslim brothers and sisters? It cannot be on the Quran. What about our Christian brothers and sisters? So the only thing common we have in our country is the Constitution. And of course, aware naman ng aking mga kasamahan sa Kongreso that we are in a non-sectarian state. We are in a secular state. And that's it. That's it. So when there are some people, some resource people who try to, lecture us on how immoral being gay is, or, I mean, like, hello, this is not a Bible study. Yeah. This is a committee hearing, and we are talking about making laws. So, out of place, so it really becomes absurd. And in fact, nagbo-boomerang nga sa kanila. Why? Because kaming mga congressmen, we are all equals. Yeah. We are all duly elected by our respective constituents, and no one has the right to tell us that we are sinful or not, or that we are going to be immoral if we defend a certain point of view. We do not appreciate that. So yung mga self-appointed na mga pastors amongst us, it's a waste of time. It's really a waste of time. It would be better if they were more constructive. Just tell us which parts of the bill they don't like, and maybe we can reach hindi naman compromise, but we can reach a formula that is mutually acceptable. Diba?
Yes. I've read the bill in its entirety, and of course, it's subject to interpretation, diba? There's a section there that I particularly don't agree with, and it's because, of my Christianity, na parang may section doon na parang a child can refuse na bawal siya turuan ng CLE or something. Ako kasi like you, I'm Jesuit bred. I studied in a Jesuit school. I went to Ateneo. So, importante rin sa akin yung, diba? Importante rin sa akin yung relationship ko with the Lord, diba? And that's something that I had to struggle with. And because there are people that, weaponize scripture, ang tendency ng mga LGBT, lalayuan nila yan, di ba? So, hindi pa sila nakakatulong in, bringing the LGBT community closer to God, di ba? Kasi
that's right. It's counterproductive.
Yeah, that's true.
Their approach is counterproductive. You know why? If their ultimate goal is to, quote-unquote, convert the LGBT person, if at the outset you already reject that person, paano mo papaparating ang pagmamahal ng Diyos sa tao na yon?
Yes.
Ang maganda naman kasi sa mga Jesuits, they don't tell you if it's a sin. They will tell you, pray, read the Bible, and discern what is God's plan for you. And I believe that each and everyone, lahat tayo, LGBT or not, has a purpose in this life, no?
Yes,
and
our main purpose.
Ako nga, sabi ko, maybe us tayo mga trans, our purpose is to be true to ourselves and to be our best selves, really. Kasi otherwise, I cannot imagine mo, GC, a life na continuously denying who I am on the inside. I cannot imagine myself trying to play macho there and, I don't know, growing a beard or faking it or what have you. I have to be my true self. I mean, yes. I owe it to the people around me, to my loved ones. Kung ano ko, eto ko. What you see is what you get, basically.
Only then you really love yourself, diba? Sabi nga ni Mama Ru, diba? If you don't love yourself, how the hell is somebody gonna love you, diba? Can I get
That's right.
Diba parang ganun? Of course, we are talking about this because this is Trans Awareness Week, diba? Trans Visibility Week, ganyan. I was reading an article on Facebook just last night, and the figures are in that there were about 350 transsexual murders in the world in the past year, and number 1 was Brazil, number 2 was Mexico, number 3 was the United States. Sa Amerika kasi, di ba, I attended kasi World Pride last year. Wala na kasi silang, sabi ko, hindi na siguro to protest, no? Kasi parang meron na silang marriage equality. Yun lang naman ang pinaglalaban. Kasi pag may marriage equality na yung bansa, di ba? Parang everything follows na. You're allowed to own property to get. Mas progressive sila. So, lahat sila nagta-thrive, di ba? So, sabi ko, it's no longer a protest. It's a celebration. Tapos parang ang pinaglalaban nila ngayon sa Amerika, yung mga murders, yung mga black trans women that are murdered in the
Actually, it's basically, there are other factors that are involved in dito sa trans violence in the United States. It is not only on the basis of the victim's gender identity, it's also on the basis of the victim's race, because they are black, and also their socioeconomic status in life. They are normally belonging to yung well, hindi masyadong fortunate sectors of society, no? Medyo mahirap sila, ganon. So, yun eh. This is a type of, yun na tinatawag na intersectionality nga, no? Parang maraming factors ng discrimination. So, we have to address all motives for discrimination. Kaya nga, aside from the SOGIE Equality Bill, we also have a comprehensive anti-discrimination bill on the basis of age, civil status, race, ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, gender identity and expression, and sexual characteristics. And this is being heard at the Committee on Human Rights. Wow. Kaya nga lang, nakakalungkot kasi the same people who are against the SOGIE Equality Bill are trying to remove SOGIE as a valid grounds for discrimination doon sa Comprehensive Anti-Discrimination Bill. And I called them out. Sabi ko, you cannot call this a comprehensive anti-discrimination bill if you leave out an entire group of people.
Yeah.
It would be an oxymoron. It would be hypocrisy in its purest form.
Diba?
Exactly.
Yun, diba? But very recently, the city of Manila, the capital, diba, approved the SOGIE ordinance, diba? Parang it's a big deal. I know that Quezon City has one, Marikina already has an ordinance like that, but I think this one is very important. It's a watershed moment because it's precisely because it's the capital, diba? And I think one section there, I think it's section I, if I'm not mistaken, na parang you cannot be denied certificates on the basis of your SOGIE, diba? I think that if you apply for a marriage certificate in Manila and they deny you, and that is already an ordinance, di ba? Parang pwede mong i-challenge ngayon kasi ayan ang sa ordinance, di ba? Kasi that's how it started in San Francisco, di ba? Doon nila. So, can you explain to me?
No, actually, yung ordinance sa Manila, I think they refer to professional licenses and certificates. So, a marriage license is not a professional license. Doon naman sa House of Representatives, our SOGIE Equality Bill also has that, it makes that distinction. In the application for professional licenses, there should be no discrimination. But this does not pertain to marriage licenses.
Hindi makakalusot.
Hindi naman. People are not stupid naman. Kami naman sa Congress, whether you are an opponent of this bill or a proponent, this is not the way we work. Yung baka sakaling makalusot. We work in good faith. We mean what we say what we mean, and we put it down in writing. Wala yung baka sakaling pwede makalusot. I think that's not doing things in good faith. And I owe it to my colleagues because it would be an insult to their intelligence.
Yeah. Okay, I understand now. But of course, di ba parang all of these things, di ba parang kasi masyado nang matagal din na parang yung mga tao, yung mga progressive nations, ang layo-layo na nila compared to us. Tayo, the right to use the bathroom of our choice pa rin yung pinaglalaban natin. It's 2020 already, di ba? As a second to the last question, do you think that the SOGIE anti-discrimination bill and maybe, marriage equality is something that we will see in our lifetime?
Honestly, ako, yung SOGIE Equality Bill, which is an anti-discrimination bill. No more, no less. It's not a gender recognition bill.
Yes.
It's not a same-sex marriage bill. It is simply anti-discrimination. Yes, it could pass into law in our lifetimes, no?
Naiiyak ako niyan. Sobrang iiyak ako.
Pwede, why? Because people realize that everybody has a right to work, to study, to receive services from the government, and also to access commercial and public establishments without being discriminated against. And everybody can identify with that. And even some very conservative congressmen recognize that there should be no discrimination. But pagdating sa marriage equality, that's a totally different matter. I believe we have to start with a civil partnership bill, which is simply and purely a legal formula. And this will open the eyes.
Endorsed by the Pope, no less.
Yeah, endorsed the Pope. In fact, ang sabi ng Pope, who is also a Jesuit, by the way, sabi niya, the context is that LGBT people have a right to be in families, and they also their right should also be protected. So it would be better to have a civil partnership bill rather than a same-sex marriage. Kumbaga, he was considering the civil partnership bill as a lesser evil, quote unquote, okay? Because the Pope, we cannot expect him or the Catholic Church to change its official doctrine.
True.
So what we can change is what is in the realm of us lawmakers. And this is our laws that pertain to legal rights and legal obligations lang. Pero sa doctrine, it would be unconstitutional to try to change the doctrine of the different religions.
And we're not
that is beyond our power. No, we're not after that. So yun. So sana nga, sabi ko nga, sometimes it takes first-hand experience for you to understand the plight of a group of people whose basic rights are not being protected because there is no law. And stop, please. Kayo mga nagsasabi that we have the Constitution, don't be stupid. Don't be ignorant. The Constitution is not self-executory. It needs enabling laws. Kung may violation ka ng iyong constitutional right, let's say to equality or some other constitutional right, the Constitution will not tell you ano ang penalty, anong mangyayari dun sa violators. That's why we need enabling laws. And stop telling us that there is a Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights will not tell you what to do in these cases. We need enabling laws.
True.
So that's why we are here in Congress. We have to develop enabling laws that will protect the rights that are enshrined in the Constitution. So enough of that cheap talk. Naiinis ako. Kasi when people talk this way, they speak from a position of ignorance. Number one, hindi sila binabasa yung SOGIE Equality Bill. And they keep on repeating the same fallacies and errors and lies about the SOGIE Equality Bill na para mga mantra. Para na lang naging purveyors kayo ng mga fake news. No. Enlighten yourselves. Go out of your willful ignorance. And read. So yun.
We've been talking for an hour now. Ang ganda ng discussion natin, no? Thank you for giving me an hour of your time. I know you're very busy.
Thank you very much, G3. Na-touch naman ako. I was reading your, I was browsing through your Instagram. Yung ating, sabi mo yan, beautiful Congresswoman of Beauty, Alba. At kasabay ko pa ang aking amiga, si Lucia Torres Gomez, who is our Diyosa. Diyos, hindi ako ka-level. Diyos ko, nahiya ako. Bigla ako nahiya. Sabi ko, my Lord, what crossed G3's mind at hinilera niya ako kay Lucy. And anyway, do greet Lucy for me. I love her, and she's an amiga in Congress. And thank you, G3.
As a last question, because I am an aspiring politician and I realized very late that I wanted to be a politician. It's probably a far-fetched dream for me now, but like for somebody who's younger, a trans girl, maybe a Filipina trans woman who's just starting out and is inspired, by, people in politics. Diba? Parang kasi ang karamihan na iniisip mga trans women, nag-excel lang tayo sa beauty pageants. Diba? There are other spaces that we occupy. And for the space that you occupy in our Congress, in the House, diba? Parang you opened a lot of doors and a lot of minds and probably, encouraged a lot of dreams. So what can you say to somebody who is a younger trans person that aspires to be in political office? Kasi diba parang you are really the first and the highest seated trans woman in Philippine government. So what kind of encouragement would you give somebody who wants to be like you?
If I can do it, so can you. And just know that politics is not an easy and world black and white that we get to follow our principles 100%. What is important is our ultimate goal, our intentions. And really, I view politics as not as a position of power, no? Being in politics, it's being in a position of service. And when we have this right perspective and we are driven by the right motives, nothing should be able to stop us. Educate yourself, empower yourselves, make the right decisions in your lives, and dream high.
Yes,
And I
as
believe
high
you
as
can
the
also,
presidency.
why not?
Diba?
Why not? Who
Thank
knows?
you so much, Congresswoman. Thank you so
Maraming
much.
salamat.
I hope that you become president one day.
Ay, ayoko. Ang daming problema ng bansa natin. Diyos ko. Oo. Papangit ako. Hindi, joke
O sige,
lang.
VP
Ako,
na lang,
kung
VP, Senator, and then VP. Oh, gusto mo yun? Okay
ay,
na yun.
hanggang senator na lang siguro, I don't know. Kasi
Sige.
I'm more of policy making. But maraming salamat,
Yes,
Chiefy.
because
God bless you.
because my dream is to vote for you. I can't vote for you. I'm not naman from Bataan, diba? So, one day, I will vote for you.
Maraming
I
salamat.
will be able to vote for you. Thank you so much for your time and happy
God bless
Transwoman.
everyone.
God bless. Thank you so much.